To begin with, we are going to need an egg, white onion, a little bit of salt. We also need oil. We can add some black pepper, and obviously we are going to need some potatoes. We are going to start with the potatoes. We can scrape the potatoes or we can leave the skin on, as you decide. But in this case I decided and I prefer to scrape them because I think that the texture is better. And well, now we are going to cut them with our knife. We are going to cut them into thick slices because we need really small and tiny pieces of potato. So let's do it. Now we already have our tiny pieces of potato, and we are going to pass this potato to this part, and it's turn of the onion. What are we going to do with the onion? We are going to repeat the process. We have to scrape it because this part we can't eat it. It's really hard and it's really difficult. And we also need tiny pieces of onion, so we are going to cut it. And let's do it. Okay, here we have our slices of potato, and here we have our thick slices of onion. I recommend you to put it on other part because we're going to use it later. You can put them maybe in a bowl or a plate. In this case, I decided to put them in a plate, and I'm going to put it, as I mentioned before, on this side. And let's go with the next part of this recipe. Now we are going to go with the egg. We are going to beat the egg, and we are going to add some salt, and we are going to add some pepper. Why? Just because of the taste. It's going to be richer and even more delicious if we have some pepper on it. So, how are we going to do this? We're going to scrap this egg. We have to heat it like this. We're going to heat it, and it's going to be broken, and we have to split the egg or this part, this white part, to have access to the content inside of it. So let's see how are we going to do it. Okay, now we're going to add the salt. It's just a little bit. You can add as much salt as you prefer, but I recommend you not eating so much salt because it's bad. But well, it's gonna be something like that. And we're going to add it. And we're also going to add the pepper like this. And we are going to start beating and mixing our egg. You can add as many ingredients as you want. In this case, I'm going to add, to make my tortilla española even more delicious, adding a slice of cheese, and I'm also going to add some pepper. So let's go and let's start cutting them. My cheese, I'm going to cut it into slices, but not as small as the potato slices. They are going to be bigger because they are going to get loose in the mix. And my pepper, I'm going to cut it, but it's gonna be tiny pieces, just in tiny pieces and not so much because it can be spicy. So I'm going to add just a little bit. Now in our pot we're going to add just a little bit of oil. Please be careful and don't add too much oil because it's gonna be terrible. And we're going to use the fire in a low flame, so we're going to slow this to a low level. And it's time for us to add the oil. As I mentioned before, we are only going to use a little bit. And we're going to cover all our spot with the oil, like this. Now we're going to caramelize the onion. Well, what is caramelize? Caramelize is when our onion is turning like brown or gold, and it's much better because the taste is really good. And we're going to wait until, as I mentioned before, the white color turns into brown or gold color. We need to move the onion because it can get burned and we don't want this. So we need to be moving this constantly. Okay, when our onions are of this color, brown color, we're going to add the potatoes and we're going to do the same. We're going to wait until it turns like yellow or brown, kind of brown, but not too much. So we also are going to be moving these potatoes and this onion constantly because it can get burned, and we don't want this. So we need to move until it has the right color. We're going to move it this like 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, our potatoes are ready. As you can see, here we have the caramelized color. It should be like yellow and brown. And now we are going to add these potatoes to our eggs. This is the mix that we did previously, and we have to add them. We are going to need this one, and we're going to do it like this. And here it's also time for us to add our extra ingredients. For example, here is where I'm going to add the cheese, and I'm also going to add the chili. And we have to mix this mixture until we get like this, until it's like this. We need to get together the egg, the salt, the pepper, the potatoes, the chili, and in this case the cheese. And that's how we are going to do. We're going to move again to our pot. We're going also to add just a little bit of oil like that, and we're going to cover all the oil on our pot. And please pay attention, we're going to add our mix to the pot, but it has to be like that. And as fast as you can, you have to make like a circle. We have to give shape to our omelette or tortilla española, like this. Okay, now that we have this shape, it's like a circle, we're going to lower the fire until the minimum level because it can be or it can get burned, and we don't want this. And we're going to cover our pot, and we're going to let it cook like 5 minutes for a side. And please pay attention and check your time. In 5 minutes we're going to turn around and give like a turn to our omelette because we need to cook for both sides. So I see you on 5 minutes. Now we are going to flip our omelette. Be careful because it's fragile and we don't want it to break. So as fast as you can, you're going to flip it, and we're going to let it cook on the other side. As you can see, it turns brown, and this is the color that we need, and this is the color that we were searching. So please make sure that you have this color because this means that it's already cooked. Now we're going to turn off the fire. Our omelette is ready, and we're going to serve it into our plate. Please come with me. We're going to put it on our plate, and this is how it should look like. We are going to decorate our plate as we want, and we are going to add the toppings that we prefer. For example, in this case, I'm going to add some spicy salsa, and that's all. We can also add some slices of bread or whatever you want. And that's all. I hope that you have enjoyed this recipe, and please do it in your house because, as you can see, it's really easy. So thank you so much and see you next time. Bye!